Hey everyone, this is Chef. Welcome back to Uma. Let's start off today by taking a look at what we've got in our free pulls. This is our second to last day of getting free pulls on the banner. We've got today and tomorrow, and then we hit pity, and this one is looking fairly good. We'll see if they're actual good cards, but we have a lot of golds here. That is not a good card. That is a nice extra copy of Vega. That is not a good card. That is a useless card for us because we're already at max limit break. But that does mean that we can go and cleat it. And we might have enough cleats for a bonus. So let's go take a peek. No, not trainees. Let's go take a peek at what we've got. So that's going to push Vega to 1 limit break, which is nice. I still think we're going to use our uncap on Fukukitaru. Just a hunch. But it is nice to have an extra copy of Vega. That is a decent card if we wanted to make like an end closer parent, which is not really something that's on our radar right now. But it might be something that we work on in the future. And then let's see if that vodka copy puts... Ooh, it's also a Majiro Ryan copy. Let's see if that puts us at enough cleats to actually go and get something out of the shop. It does. Very nice. Let's grab one of those. And then we could also grab a quick trainee scout ticket as well. If we get a few more duplicates, we could actually get quite a bit more out of that shop. But that'll give us one more little bitty pull here. A bourbon is not bad. Not a main power card, but a decent card for parent runs again. Let's go and uncap that, and then we'll talk about what the plan is today. I was thinking about doing CM prep. I was thinking about continuing to work on team trials, but I think what we're actually going to do today is a parent run. So the Tamamo Cross that we got last time is actually a really good parent. Like, very, very good. We have 2-star park, 2-star power, 3-star turf is Sparks. We have 2-star White Lightning coming through. Tail Held High is a great white spark. Gambit Deep Breath's extra tank does kind of pull us towards it being a long parent, but if you just look at the blues, the pinks, and Tail Held High, it's really, really generic. And then we also have a second turf parent that is not that bad in this Matikane, which is 2-star speed, 2-star turf with Nimble Nav straightaway adept fighter. I would like to combine these two veteran runners into a single amazing inheritance. So we're going to try and work on that today. And as far as thinking about who we want to do it for, what kind of spark are we targeting, we actually really don't care that much. It would be great if we had like an 8-star turf or a 7-star turf or something like that, but it's not strictly necessary. And the other thing to think about is what kind of green spark we may want to go along with it. So we have 4 trainees that can potentially give a green spark. We're not going to be able to use Tamamo because she was already in the inheritance tree elsewhere, which means we're looking at Special Week, Taiki Shuttle, Grass Wonder. And among these 3, these are the 2 most valuable greens. Taiki's is fairly track dependent. You require halfway through extra corner being around when late race starts, but when that's true, it's very powerful. Special Weeks is weaker, but it is also more generic. You get velocity and acceleration out of passing somebody in late race. So given that this is going to be a fairly generic parent anyway, because turf sparks are fairly broadly applicable, we're going to do a special week parent run. So let's talk about philosophy behind parent runs, because it's been a while since we did one. There is plenty of discussion elsewhere in the Umasphere, the public discussion about the game, about whether you want to do parent runs on URA Finale or Unity Cup. I think they're honestly about the same. I feel like with our deck right now being a little on the weaker side, the extra stats from Unity Cup are going to be nice to make sure we hit 600, 600, 600. But if you're targeting very specific skill hints, URA Finale is going to be better because it's easier to prioritize hints that are coming from cards. Since we want this to be a fairly generic parent and we don't have any specific plans, Unity Cup is just going to fit better for our goals. We'll take Special Week, and then for both of our inheritances, this is not going to be something that we guest borrow for. We are going to try and use only the runners that we have in order to assemble one parent. I cannot believe we get double circle affinity out of this, but that's nice. And then the grandparents here don't matter, because the idea is that this Special Week herself is going to become a parent. So the grandparent portion of these legacies is going to fall off. Now, as far as deck goes, we're not really looking for specific parent decks. We have like a long parent deck, but that's mostly oriented towards giving long sparks. And that's not really something that we care about as much. So Cafe probably doesn't need to be here, and McQueen probably doesn't need to be here. However, Special Week does run the Spring Tenno show, which means we can't just ignore stamina completely. It's very likely that we're going to have to run one stamina card. And I think if we need to run one stamina card, our best option is actually going to be Saiyan Sky, because she has a ton of stats. We're getting 25% friendship bonus, we're getting a ton of mood effect, we're getting good initial friendship gauge, we have massive specialty priority. Saiyan is going to show up fairly regularly on stamina trainings, and she's going to help us get to the point that we need to get to. So for our last slot, we don't really have much flexibility on speed cards. I guess technically we could get rid of Biko, but I don't actually think we have other good generic speed cards. Maybe we do. Let's take a quick look. We don't have any plans for the specific spark that we're getting here. We don't want to look for a medium. We don't want to look for a long. It doesn't really matter which one we pick. So if you're looking at something like Brian, your biggest draws here are medium straights, medium corners, outer swell, stuff like that, because that's going to pull you into being a medium parent specifically. We're relatively distance agnostic, so we don't need something like Brian. Something like Teo, our biggest advantage is going to be getting Rushing Gale, but I don't think Rushing Gale is particularly good as a skill. I guess Sweet Tosha is probably a fine generic parent. Like, Slipstream is good on most runners. Trick Front and Trick Rear can be good. So that's one possibility. Asian Flash is pretty late surger dependent. I definitely don't want Biko. So I think I take a 1 LB Sweet Tosho. And then I think I also level you, because you're not actually at level cap. So let's bump that up. So that's potential Slipstream, which is nice. These two are here just for stats. Sunday is going to stay in, because Sunday gives us Tail Held High, Ramp Up, Straightaway Adept. All of those are really, really good. We would be happy to take any of those. And then you could also be anything else. I don't think we need a 4th speed. We might want to think about a 2nd stamina. Do I have any good generic stamina hints here? Brian is the same hints. We already looked at Brian on another card. How do I feel about Zeno, Rob Roy? Straightaway Adept, Nimble Nav, Shrewd Step? It's okay. Late Surge or Medium isn't as good. Medium pay... Well, no, position fail for his late surger specifically. We do get guaranteed ramp up from Tosin Jordan, which is kind of nice. Maybe that's a possibility. And then I think we also need to level you. Shouldn't you be 30 as well? Yeah. So I think something like this is okay. As far as what we're targeting ramp up, and we're getting ramp up here and here. We're getting Slipstream. We're getting Slipstream here. Corner Adept is coming from here. Corner Recovery is coming from here. That's nice and generic. Saiyan, I really don't think we're getting a lot of skill hint help. Like, Tail Held High is fine. I don't need any of these debuffs, and I definitely don't need gold frontrunner skills. Like, none of these really matter. Saiyan is here to make sure we have enough stamina to actually, like, clear the run. But I think the rest of this looks fairly fine for just a generic parent run where we're targeting something like Turf Sparks. So let's go ahead and send it and see how we do. So our plan here is not to make an ace runner. We don't really care about stats. We want to run as many extra G1 races as we can. Technically, for even more affinity, we could be running G2s and G3s, but I'm not going to go crazy on races because we also need to hit 600 in speed, stamina, and power. to give ourselves a decent chance of getting blue sparks out of those. And then pink sparks, we have very little control over pink sparks, so let's not really worry about those too much. We'll waste a little bit of wit here starting on wit training, but it's fine for building friendship. We'll spend a little energy on a speed training. We've got all of our supports here. It's a nice power. It also comes with a hint. Because this is a parent run, we want to prioritize our hints a little more strongly, because we're going to get stuff out of them. Straightaway recovery is not my favorite skill ever, but if we need to, we can get it. I would love to take a free mood up right now, because that means I can skip a turn on recreation. 1, 1, 3, and 1. We take that for sure. Wow, we're done with all of Sunday's events already? I'll just take 10 energy and another mood. We don't have to recreate at all. That's beautiful. 2 and 1 spirit training, 2 and 1 spirit training, 2 and 1 spirit training. If wit is the same as everything else, we'll grab wit. Would love to... Well, honestly, we can just end this event chain if we wanted to. But I don't need second wind, and I wouldn't mind getting 10 energy. So I guess we'll keep running with it. We might get other decent stats out of that. I've never used Saiyan before, so I don't know if the rest of our chain is actually good or not, but we'll find out. There's enough friendship here on wit that I think I take no spirit trainings on it. Everything else that's going on there is pretty good. I'd really like to take that speed, but there's a Tosin Jordan hint on stamina. And it's not that much worse. So we're losing friendship progress on 1 support, and we're losing 1 spirit training, but we're getting 1 hint out of it. And that hint actually can't be anything that we really want. We don't care about medium straights, medium corners, pace straights, or position pilfer, and we definitely don't care about like long shot or stamina to spare. They're all style dependent. We actually don't care about that hint. We'll just take the better training. Tosin Jordan is here because of ramp up. She's not here because of any hints that she gives in training. I would much rather just have 5 energy, please. Got 1, 1. Ooh, we have everybody. We'll be taking that for sure. And then we're starting to get into rest territory here. Unless it's a good wit. That's not a very good wit. I think I'm fine just taking the full rest here. It's only 1 trainee on wit. Hear about vodka hints. We could get adept, recovery, home stretch haste. Yeah, I kind of care about vodka hints, I guess, and I'm not giving up amazing trainings to take it either. Vodka hints are okay with me. Mile straights, probably not something we're gonna get. I wouldn't mind getting a hint for Lone Wolf, though. So we might chase that in Toshio's event. Nothing else really going on here, so we'll just take Wit. And then do I need to buy anything yet? I don't think so. We could get recovery. You know what? We should get recovery. Because if we buy it now, it means that Kita-san can't give it anymore, and Vodka can't give it anymore. So technically that could get even cheaper and save us more skill points, but it's a parent run. We're already going to be doing a lot of races. It's okay that we can just get that out of the hint table for our current support cards. We'll run pace because it's closer to the front. We'll win by 6 lengths. Holy cow. That is a debut. And then off we go. So special we can only run 10 energy, please. Mediums and longs. We could have done a little bit... Oh, I'm actually going to run mediums. Did I inherit medium? Did I inherit Miles? I must have inherited Miles from somewhere, because I think normally she cannot run those. So we'll go here, we'll go here. And then we also have in our agenda somewhere, medium-long G1s. Let's go ahead and load that list. Wait, did I just overwrite that list? I just overwrote that list. No, I loaded it. Yeah, there we go. So in addition to this, we could also run Yasuda Keenan. We could also run NHK Mile Cup. Actually, Yasuda might be in senior year. No, it's not. Okay, so we can push Yasuda to senior year. And then our Rima's in senior year, because it's a goal. There's also the Osaka High here. And then there's also the Victoria Mile here. And then there's also the Autumn Tenno here. And I think that should be everything. That's all of the G1s that we want to target. If we run in all of them, that's great. If we have an extremely good training and we think we're not going to get to 600, we may pass on some of them. Here, I would actually rather have the hint for Lone Wolf than for Level-Headed. Level-Headed is not something we're going to buy. And we're also getting pretty close to our guaranteed mood up in late September. So give me the Lone Wolf hint. It's just a useful skill to have around sometimes when you're building PvP runners. Also, can you please put the Hanshin JF back? Thank you. Pretty bad, pretty bad. Pretty bad, but Akita-san hint. So we probably take that. It also pushes her to Gold Friendship, which is useful. Now we get Corner Recovery. I would also like to buy that immediately and take it off of her drop table. Because I want to see Corner Adept hint, specifically. That is the one that I am really after. 5% Tosin Jordan hint, pushing Sweep Tosho to burst, and also just good on stamina training. I think we take that, no questions asked. And then next turn is going to be a rest. We have no energy left. Unless it's a really good wit. It's a burst on wit. So somebody was saying in the comments, and I'm waiting for confirmation on this, because anytime I don't know something, I ask for proof. It's not like I think you're wrong, it's that I want to know for myself, but Galaxy Paths says that each Unity training actually gives different amounts of facility experience based on what facility they train in. For power, guts, and stamina, each up arrow is 20, for speed it's 40, and for wit it's 80. So what that means is that when you burst on wit, you level your facilities up faster than when you burst on anything else. I haven't found that, but also a lot of the Unity Cup documents I've read have not been very good. So I'm willing to trust them on this and see if this levels up our facilities super fast, which would be very nice for just building attributes and making more time to run races. 40 skill points versus a mood drop versus just guaranteed stamina. I would like guaranteed stamina here because I'm already thinking about how we're going to clear the Spring Tenno. We're not intentionally inheriting stamina, which means we're going to have to think about training it fairly actively in order to get to that threshold. We have 1 on Sweet Tosho, 2 on Guts. I don't really want to be on Guts. This is probably better just for saving energy, even though Sweet Tosho is burst already. It also pushes her to Gold Friendship, so that we have that unlocked. Rainbow Stam versus Spirit Training on Wit at full energy versus not really anything else going on. Seems like a fine turn to just train stamina. We'll burn a little bit of energy off so that if we hit an energy recovery event, we can make use of it. We'll absolutely take stamina. Okay, it's better. It's a Saiyan hint? I don't think we really care about Saiyan hints. It would be nice to get Tail held high, but we're likely to get it from Tosin Jordan's event anyway. It would be nice to get Slipstream eventually. And that's actually probably good enough to pull me towards stamina training here, because it also builds Marvelous Sunday's Spirit Training and Friendship. Yeah, I think in a normal run you train Wit there, but... Ooh. That is very nice. Ramp up is another just great generic hint that we wouldn't mind having. Anybody who's not a frontrunner can make use of it. 2 spirit trainings. Everywhere else is 1. We'll take that. It's also great friendship progress. We'd really like to wit here before we run our 2 races, just to preserve energy a little bit. Will the game let us do that? That's a really nice speed training. That's not a very good wit training. Oh, I should probably take this. It's just a lot of stats. And then we need to get lucky on 1 energy roll for these races, but we're probably still going to need to rest early January anyway. I would happily take 20 stamina. 163 skill points. We should be able to buy a ramp up. So let's grab that, and then we'll keep an eye on corner recovery after we finish these next 2 races. Also, let's go take a look at what training we're actually passing up here. Hey, we can't take it, but that is a double rainbow in speed and a single rainbow in stamina. If we had managed our energy better, those would be interesting, but... Good. Just running the G1 doesn't matter. We actually have to win it in order to build affinity with other parents. It also has to be the same G1. So if we really, really wanted to min-max, on that turn I should have checked whether the 2 parents that I'm using won the Hanshin. Or... Can I even check it from here? Oh, I have to back all the way out to check it. That's annoying. Maybe I can get to it from here? No, I'd have to back all the way out. So, hypothetically, if I had run the Hanshin JF on both of my parents, I'd have more affinity than if I had run the Asahi High, because they have to be a shared race win. But I know for sure that Tamamo ran the Hopeful Stakes, and Matikane probably did too. So this is one that's fairly important to win. That's a big affinity bump. Very nice. I also remember that Tamamo did most of the classic Triple Crown. She skipped the Derby, but she won the Satsuki Show and the Kikuku Show. So we're going to be looking at both of those as well. I believe Special Week runs them as part of her goal races. So we don't... What is going on here? San, you run medium, so you and Vodka can switch. This is the worst that I've seen the auto picker do in quite some time. And then Sunday runs mediums. I don't think I can get anybody from medium onto sprint. G mile? A mile? Okay, Sweep Tosho needs to come to mile. Tosho, you come here. And then Sunday needs to move to mediums. You come over here. And then I think that's it. We're super stacked in mile, medium, long. And then sprint, dirt are just kind of left out to dry. We also don't need to play super risky here. So we'll take a look at the prediction for top, but unless it was full double circles, I actually think I'm just going to take medium first. I would really like to make sure we get a Nimble Navigator hint at the end of the run, because that is always a nice white spark to have. So let's just play it cool. Let's not focus on ramping up as quickly as we possibly can. We'll just take the safe option in our first round of Unity Cup, and then we'll build from there. I would absolutely like to have 20 energy, and then we're also going to take a rest, because our energy is disastrous. We're missing a single rainbow on speed. We're missing a pretty nice power training, also a pretty nice stamina training. But this needs to be a rest. It would have been nice if that was a plus 70 energy rest, but we can't have everything. And then we get a double rainbow speed anyway. Yeah, I take that over anything else, probably. We do have to get to 600 in all stats, in speed stamp power, by the end of the run. That's a fairly important goal for us. So that is good progress towards that goal. Bit of extra energy. Good. This is a G3, so it doesn't matter as much. And it's also a goal race, which means it's probably going to be a little easier. We could buy Lone Wolf, because Lone Wolf is probably not going to get cheaper, but then after that we don't have many skills that we need to grab. Good. So this, and this are not negotiable, in my opinion. Yasuda Keenan we might bump to senior year, otherwise 4 races in a row going into summer break is pretty brutal. I don't mind this stamina training because it pushes Sunday to gold. That turns on our energy recovery. Means we can just extract a little more value out of trading Rainbow Wits. A vodka hint is fairly valuable, because we're chasing Straightaway Adept, and we're also chasing Homestretch Haste. So let's grab that. And then March Late probably needs to be a rest, just looking at what our race schedule looks like for the rest of this portion of the year. But we'll see. Because we could also just take that wit. And then we could rest late April after running the Satsuki show. I think that seems fine. This is also just good spirit training progress. It pushes Sunday to burst, which is nice. Long spark, but we don't particularly care about that. So burst on wit. I would... Wow, it's a good speed training too. Oh, I'd really like to take that. I'd really, really like to take that, but unfortunately we have a scheduled race. So let's go book in Lone Wolf, because we know that we want that. Let's hit the schedule. This is another important one to win. I don't remember if Matikane won it or not. I know Tamamo did. Good. So far, so good. Energy minus 20 is unfortunate, but we were already planning to rest late April. I think I have to take that. I'm gonna take it, and then we're gonna push the Yasudakina into senior year. Let's just make that change now. We were always gonna do it. Or, hold on. I could greed and take 100 here, because we can fix slow metabolism over summer break. Like, 3 of our last 4 days are races. And if we go into summer break at less than full energy, we'd have to rest first turn anyway. I think this is just a free energy recovery, even if we hit slow metabolism, which we didn't. I think that turn worked out beautifully for us. So let's bump the Yasuda to here. And then let's cancel that schedule. That's another really nice wit training. It's also a really nice speed training. But our attributes are on target for hitting 600 by the end of the career. So even though they're good trainings, we don't have to take them. We would much rather take a race, because a race is going to give us more skill points, and it's going to give us better affinity in the future. Numerically, there is no difference between hitting 601 speed and hitting like 900 speed. The only next breakpoint is 1100. So, as counterintuitive as it feels to skip good trainings for the sake of running a race, when you're doing a parent run, sometimes you do things that look a little unusual. Do we have anything else that we would like to buy here? Mile, medium, mile, front, pace, late, end. Nah, nothing really super generic. Hey, 777s is kind of interesting. But we don't have to buy it right now. And also, I don't have Christmas Ogre on this account. Or on any account. Not a huge deal. Good. We do need to get to like 400 stamina for the Kikuka show. Or we could just buy Gourmand. Even though we don't necessarily want to spark it, because it's extra insurance towards surviving long races. This is our one training turn that we get. everything looks pretty much the same. This puts Toast and Jordan to burst and preserves our energy, so I think we probably take that. We definitely take stamina here. Let's keep building stamina. We are passing up on a good Rainbow Wit and a burst on speed for the sake of running the Takarazuka. But we could push this to senior year, because we run it in senior year as well. Would it be worth bursting on speed because we're about to go into another Unity Cup round? I think it probably would be. It's going to screw up our plans for summer break. But I would rather have the burst going into a Unity Cup round, because it's going to improve our team a bit. All I've got is a medium skill, I believe. That's probably not something we're going to get. Yeah, that's medium only, so we'll probably skip that. Team still looks psychotic. I don't know what the AI is trying to solve for here. So I need to find somebody who can go to sprints. None of you can. What the hell? I can't even get anybody to mediums. I might need to move like Twin Turbo to medium to mile. We can do that. Twin Turbo should come here. So that's at least mile B. But like, I think that the auto solver is putting Saiyan here because there's nowhere else for Saiyan to go. So we might as well just leave you here. There's nowhere else for you to go. We can't get anybody else onto dirt as far as I know. I don't reckon... Well, we could move Taiki to dirt, but then that doesn't solve our sprint issue because we can't move anybody else onto sprint. None of you are sprinters. Yeah, I think this is just life. Alright, kind of awkward. But I think we get new trainees soon anyway, so that will probably help things out. I'm gonna trust that taking top will be good enough here. Okay, thank God. I don't know what Tizuna's looking at to come up with that prediction, but I do not think it is grounded in any reality that the rest of us live in. Alright, that's dirt runners. That's dirt runners and sprinters. So that is a solution to the problem that we're having currently. I like the idea of a Kita-san hint here, and it's decent spirit training, because we're trying to get corner adept out of you specifically. So let's grab that. This next turn probably needs to be a rest. Long corners is not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for corner adept, please. Not a good enough wit. That's not a good enough speed to gamble on. We take a full rest here to rebuild energy. This is probably going to be speed, just to build speed. It's just an efficient stat training. It also pushes Kita-san and Taiki to burst, which is extra skill hints. All told, not a horrible summer break. That's also a really nice stamina training. If anything, our power might be the stat that doesn't hit 600, but I think we'll get there. Alright, good summer break. So we can go rest. Unless we get energy out of this one. If we get lucky with the ramp up hint. Hey, okay. I think we bought ramp up already, didn't we? I think we did. Yeah, we did already. Alright, that's a wasted hint. I didn't need to be doing that. I got a little too excited. I still don't need anything else in here, so we can just sit on it for now. None of these trainings are great, so as tempting as it is to grab wit and get a little bit of energy back, I'd rather take a full recovery. Even plus 30 is fine. That turn was kind of a wash anyway. Do I care about Sweep Tosho hints? Slipstream would be pretty good. Do I care about Marvelous Sunday hints? Yes. we actively want Marvelous Sunday hints. So we burst on Wit here. It's also better friendship progress. And it also uses a burst. Hesitant Base Chasers, I'll still buy. We haven't talked a lot about debuffs yet, because I think they only really matter in like CM prep. But not all debuffs are created equal. And I think the Hesitant debuffs, like Hesitant Base Chaser, are actually quite good. So we're going to lock that in now. And then we're going to see what else we can get. I'm very tempted by a burst on power, because I think our power is a little low for where I would like it to be right now. I don't mind bursting on that. Our stamina should be fine for Kikukusho. We have 2 recovery skills. And we also just get there on like raw stamina anyway. So this should be fine. It's not over until it's over. Son of a... Oh, and then with long S too. The Triple Crown continues to elude us. I'm annoyed. I'm mad. I really want to take +10 energy and +1 mood here, but straightaway adept hints are more conducive to a parent run. Let's grab the hints, because we're about to run 2 extra races, and we could get a mood up from either of those, which would kind of invalidate needing to take the mood from Kita-san's event. I'm also going to buy adept now, because it takes it off of Vodka's drop table. And it pushes her more towards giving homestretch haste hints. Come on. If that's the only race we lose this entire run, I'm going to be upset. Because we haven't really seen people get close to us in any other race. Alright, we're all the way down to normal mood now. Japan Cup is a goal for senior year, which means I actually don't need to run it right now. Do I care about Tosin Jordan hits? No. Do I care about stamina? Yes. So I think this is like a stamina angle. And then it's probably an early December Recreate angle, hoping to hit energy recovery. And then it's a late December Wit angle, probably. Something like that, because we gotta patch mood up. Mood being at normal is not okay. So let's go Recreate. Hit an energy recovery, that's great. Do any of these give good spirit training progress? Not really. Would you be willing to gamble on a 14% failure on speed? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, we'll take that. And then we run the Arima senior year, so we don't have to run it this year either. With the exception of the Triple Crown slipping through our fingers by 4 lengths, I think we're in pretty good shape. Team Trials team looks very shaky. But we're locked into taking top option if we want to max our stats at the end of the run. Okay. At least we're still holding it together. One year to go. 30 energy, please. A burst on stamina that also builds Saiyan Sky's friendship and also puts Vodka to Spirit Burst. I like the sound of that. So let's take that. Extra hints for stamina to spare. Not something we're going to buy. Hot Spring Ticket is going to be big stats. That's a beautiful 30 energy recovery. And then we're looking at like a burst on Wit angle, just because we know it levels facilities faster, potentially. Given what we actually see in the source documents that are going to hopefully be linked to us later. We know that Tosin Jordan doesn't really have chase hints, so we don't need to worry about that. I think we just take the Wit. We'll take the energy recovery. And how are we looking on stamina right? There's no question that we hit our unique level ups here. We're probably at 120 already. We are. We've run a monumental amount of races so far. That's a very good wit. I think at this point, since we're already at 491 speed, we're extremely likely to hit 600. This is a good enough wit training that I don't mind just managing energy on it. It works on Saiyan's friendship, and it does quite a bit of spirit training progress as well. This is potential curvature. 3 hints of curvature is great. We're still waiting for corner adept hints to show up potentially, though. So this is potential corner adept hint. This, I don't think we care. So I think we go here, and we hope for corner adept. Focus. It's honestly generic enough that I would probably still buy it. It's great on frontrunners, and it's still kind of good on pace chasers, but that's about it. I'll still lock it in, though, because it's one of those white sparks that you really don't mind having around. And then here we're at half energy and nothing looks super exciting. I think we can just take a rest. Okay. We should take a look at our trainings. What are we giving up for this? We're giving up a double speed for this, but it's fine. We're already at 537. We do need to burst on power, probably once or twice before the end of this run to get it to 600. Good win. Good fans. I don't know what our inspiration has a chance of getting us here, but there's decent hints on those parents. We could get like Nimble Nav. Nothing. Ugh. We don't need to buy White Lightning because we can't pass down unique skills that we got from somebody else. So there's nothing that we need to buy as a result of that inheritance. Which I guess is good or bad depending on your perspective. Also, none of these trainings are very good, so we're just going to roll on Wit. And then Spring Tenno is just going to be a stam check. We're at 527, but we have 2 white recoveries. That should be good enough. 600 is the point where I'm really confident that we're fine. Oh my god, it wasn't enough. Well, no, we were kind of in there. We were down by 3 lengths. And we lost to speed rather than stamina. That's fair. The other big one that we want to nail for extra affinity is here, 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 here. We want to do the Autumn Triple Crown, and we also want to do the Takarazuka Kinen, because Tamamo Cross won those. And that is going to be another big affinity bump for us. So we'll do Victoria Mile. I would really like to Wit on late May, because we're running 2 races after this. Okay, we're back in form. We're back to winning races. -5 is huge there. Mood down is huge there, but in like the opposite direction. I think we may actually just... Oh, I think we may recreate this turn, even though that power is really nice. It's a lot of stats out of that power training, but let's prep for summer break. That's good. This is useless, functionally. We already have straightaway recovery as a hint. We're already at full mood. We're already at full energy. I mean, honestly, we don't even need the plushies. I was gonna go all the way to the far right side of the machine just to, like, get nothing out of it. Let's actually get out of this event faster because we have everything that we could possibly need from it. I don't think it gives you any meaningful amount of stats, but I could be wrong. Special week, I'm sorry. I failed to win you plushies. Honestly, I tried my best. I don't know what happened. Oh well. giving up a single rainbow speed and not much else to run the Yasudakinen. Good. That's also a good roll on energy loss. I do not need practice perfect. I'll just take stats, please. And then to run the Takarazuka, we're passing up a very good speed training, but we're already at 600. So we don't need it. Good. Our odds of actually winning the Unity Cup and beating Zenith, I think, are fairly low. But if we don't hit Team Rank S, that's okay. Because we won't have to see them. Or if we lose the final Unity Cup round, we also won't have to see them. So, there's ways out of this. We're up to a double circle here, which is expected. Good. So 1 round to go against Zenith. What is our team rank right now anyway? I'd assume A. I'd assume we're going to hit A very soon. But we may actually not hit S this run. I think this is the power training that we're looking for. It puts Saiyan to burst, and it also brings our power up when our power is kind of lagging right now. Yeah, there's team rank A. I don't think we hit S, which I'm actually fine with. It means that we don't get a hint for It's On, the gold skill version of Ramp Up, so it means we're less likely to inherit Ramp Up. But if I had the choice, I would rather have the Unity Cup Spark than a hint for Ramp Up. And I think it's more likely... If it was on Wood, I would have taken it. Can't take any of those, though. I think it's more likely at this point that we beat the Unity Cup without Zenith there and just don't get Ramp Up than getting Ramp Up but then losing the finals. Bursting on stamina here seems fine. It gives us a hint. Power will get to 600 just naturally by finishing the career. So we're done, basically. Position Pilfer's a late Surger skill? Or is it a mile skill? Position Pilfer. Late Surger. Okay, we will not be doing that then. Don't need to take any of these. I think this can be... Well... This could be a Wit, because then you put Matikane to burst. That's one extra hint that you could potentially get later on. And then if your trainings are bad early October, you can rest. It's literally Matikane's burst. Okay, well that's what we were planning for, so we take that. I also think I ran the QE2 Cup in Classic year. Is this true? I did. I don't have to run it this year. Okay. It's not part of the Senior Autumn Triple Crown, so we can ignore it. We're giving up a hint on Kida-san to take the Autumn Tenno. That's a trade we always take. These three are must-win. Autumn Tenno, Japan Cup, Arima Keenan are must-win for affinity with Tamamo. I think Matikane might have done them as well, now that I think about it. This I wouldn't mind being a rest turn, but a double rainbow on speed is just kinda good, and we can rest December early. These are both goal races, so they're not going to drain energy, and we don't have to run the QE2 Cup because we did it Classic year. Hey, this all seems fine so far. We'll buy Ignited Spirit because we know we want that to be a hint. Do we have anything else in here interesting right now? I don't think we've gotten anything interesting. We still have no hints for Homestretch Haste. At least we can buy Curvature outright. Even without the hints on Corner Adept. It would be nice if it was cheaper, but it does not look like it's getting cheaper at this point. This is also must-win. They're goal races, so we can alarm clock them, actually, now that I think about it. So they will be must-win. They will be win. They're must-win, but we will win them. You know what I mean. This is a rest. Maybe. That's a really good speed training. Huh. You know what? Sure. That was a really lucky slow metabolism, and that's a really good speed training. So this is a Rima. Again, goal race. Not possible to lose because alarm clocks exist. Good. So we lost 2 races that whole career. We ran probably like 22 of them, and we lost 2. That is disappointing, given that the 2 we lost were the 2 that cost us the Classic Triple Crown and the Senior Spring Triple Crown. But we have accomplished everything that we want to do for a parent run. All that is left is to roll high on sparks. And that's it. We also want to win this so that we get no stopping me. Okay, we will not be winning this. There's no stopping. There is stopping me in this run. But it means we don't have to deal with them in the finals, and we have a clear path to potentially getting the Unity Cup White Spark. I can't take that training because we're too low on energy, so we're going to take a rest. And then we'll go quarters, semis, finals. Without Zenith here, it should not be an issue. That's a crazy wit training. I'll take it just because I like all the arrows being there. Oh, and if we hit Team Rank S now, then we do get its on. Oh, there's a chance. It would have to happen next turn specifically. I don't think we're gonna make it. I don't think we have enough time. But imagine though. It's again a really nice wit. The more spirit trainings there are, the higher your chance of getting a random hint out of it. So I think we actually take that wit, even though it is not efficient on the energy front, because everything else is 600 or up. Oh! Huge plays. Massive plays. Okay, tail held high is in. Let's grab curvature. Let's grab homestretch haste. We are not going to see nimble nav, so we don't need to worry about saving extra skill points. I think that's it for now, and then we'll figure out what we want to do at the end. I cannot believe that tail held high showed up on the last training specifically because we took a shot on a 4 spirit training wit. That's crazy. Sometimes you play the odds and you are not rewarded, and sometimes you play the odds and you are rewarded so heavily. God, if this is like a 1-star wit, 2-star like pace chaser, I'm gonna be real annoyed. I'm gonna be not happy. Everything else has gone so well. Alright, what else we buying? I honestly don't mind standard distance as a white spark. It applies to most turf tracks, and this is going to be a turf runner. And then if you were going to be a hint for a given distance, all I've got is okay. I feel like I'm kind of being pulled towards mediums here. Well, actually, we did get mile straights and mile corners. Maybe that means we should be a mile. But steadfast is not very good. All I've got is not very good. What other mile stuff did we get down here? Not really anything. Yeah, I think we still go mile straights, mile corners. Watchful Eye is not very good. And those were the only mile skills. So we'll just double up on mile corners, mile straights. We'll double up on... Where am I? I'm lost. We'll double up on mile straights, and then we can buy one more green skill. We can buy, like, left-handed. They're not amazing white skills, or white sparks, but they're better than nothing. All right, fingers crossed. A rank. Holy cow, that's a lot of white sparks. Unfortunately, 1 guts, 2 mile is unusable. So we made the right call on... We even got the Unity Cup spark too. Ugh. That's too bad. This is the roadmap, though. This is the plan for a special week going forwards. I think this is a perfect legacy for it, and I think we have an excellent plan for running races. It's just a question of getting lucky at that point. That's also our best special week of all time, which I think is a pretty bad indictment of the special week that we already made, that we tried to make an ace run out of. Our team trials team always needs work, man. There's always something to be done. Still, though, look, if you're doing parent runs, and you're coming into parent runs with the expectation that just because you made the right decisions and got the right outcome, that you're going to get a good result, you are not built to be doing parent runs long term. It is a lot of making the right decisions for the right reasons and then getting a horrible outcome over and over and over again until eventually you just happen to get lucky. So we've built a template to do that. We've built a special week that has a good inheritance chain. We have a good support deck. It generates good hints, things that are relevant. It's only a matter of time until we generate a usable parent out of that, and I think that's probably what our project will now be on Sunday for our stream. But for now, let's go jump into chores. Let's go take care of all of our dailies. Let's get our team trials runs out of the way. Let's wrap things up. This is a really good special week run. I think that is going to be better than average in terms of like races won and hitting stat distributions. Is this good? 517, it is good. We're maybe getting into class 6 next week. We're probably not going to stay there. But I think we're getting into class 6 next week. Also, I should be looking at score. We should be looking at score every time. Tamamo not doing well, Vodka not doing well, Haru not doing well. Just remember it for next time. That may have been a long track where Tamamo would be at a disadvantage. I didn't check what the distance was. Little extra carrots. Tachyon, Halo. Both of these sprinters need work as well. Tachyon's also been fairly down there relatively consistently. Also, Gabeline was saying in comments that Tachyon is not really built to be a long runner. It's true. Like, Grass Wonder on Mile and Tachyon on Long is not where either of those runners should be. They should be running Double Dominator on mediums, but I don't have enough runner support around them right now to be able to make that shift. It's the direction that we would like to move eventually. It's not something that we can do right now just because our trainee pool is not good enough. But next time there's free pulls on trainees, maybe it's something we fix. Or long shoes. Or alternatively, we could actually sit down and get serious about getting the last 3-star selector out of our current event missions. And that might give us something usable as well. We'll think about it. Lots of options. Okay. And then show me score, please. Gold Chip, Grass Wonder, Haru. So Haru's down here relatively frequently. Halo's down here relatively frequently. Agnes Tachyon is down here relatively frequently. There's a lot of variance because Tamamo went from top to bottom back to top again on a 3200, which is a fairly long track. So you really can't just do one team trials run, look at who's at the bottom, and then go, this person urgently needs a rebuild. That is not going to give you full information on what's going on your team trials team. But if you look at trends long term, across, 5 runs or something like that, you should start to get a pretty good idea of who's overperforming and who's underperforming. Team trials runners that are weaker are going to show up near the bottom with more regularity. And so that's what we're basing a lot of that decision making around right now. Like alarm clocks will definitely take dirt shoes. I very rarely run dirts right now. And then our last chore is our special event. We should be getting very close to being done with limited time events. We need to run 3 more careers. We need to do team trials 4 more times. We're about to get a rainbow shard. Whoops. That's not where I wanted to click. We're about to get a rainbow shard. So that'll be nice. I'm very tempted to spend a rainbow shard on, like, fine motion or something, but there's a fine motion banner coming up relatively soon. And we are rebuilding our carrots fairly quickly, so it may be our next target. Even though I don't think that fine motion banner is super high value, fine motion is definitely good, and I don't feel like waiting until August for the next higher value rerun when she's there with Summer Marazensky as well. So that's going to be our current target for next pull. Although there are free pulls coming up on stuff like Tachyon Speed and I think Narita Top Road as well, where the game is going to put us halfway to Pity anyway, so it's a lot cheaper to go all the way to Pity. But we can think about those pull plans in like a month or two when they start to become a little more salient. For now, I think that's going to do it. If you've been enjoying Uma, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel. If you have any questions, comments, feedback, etc., or suggestions for what we work on next, drop me a line in the comments and let me know. I always enjoy reading the comments. I think you guys leave a lot of really good ideas, thoughtful critiques, interesting points, things that I fail to consider in this ridiculously complicated horse game. So if there's something that you want to know more about or something that you want me to know more about, drop me a line down there and let me know. But until then, I'll see you guys next time. Take care and enjoy the rest of your night. Have a good one.